I've lived more in dreams than reality. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean it less in the sense that I've spent more hours asleep than I have awake, and I mean it more in the sense that I've had way more experiences in the dream world than I have in reality. And I think if the average person strengthened their dream recall, then I think that most people could truthfully say that line, I've lived in dreams more than reality. Just how most people live. And yeah. So how is this the case? Well, 2 years ago, I really started getting into dream recall. I had a natural interest in it. And, throughout my life, I've had these just like wild dreams in my vault of dreams. And 2 years ago, I really dived into it. Every morning, I woke up and wrote down anything I could remember, and just doing that daily for a full year, that really strengthened my dream recall to the point where I ended up forgetting about my journal entirely, and yet my dream recall kept strengthening because I just could remember my dreams without even trying. And I've had some lucid dreams in there. I've had a few lucid dreams, even though I haven't like tried to lucid dream. I think that lucid dreaming is like a very short-lived sort of experimenty method of the dream journey. I think you can't really forcefully have lucid dreams for an extended period of time, especially if you're doing the wake back to bed method. I think that's a very funny method. Like if you're waking up like at 3 a.m. Just to like hack your REM sleep to have a lucid dream, I think that's very short-lived. I don't think you could have. I don't think you could do that for like a full year every day. I mean, you probably could, but. Okay, so I did a year of dream journaling, and then after that, I stopped journaling, and then a year goes by of me just being able to remember my dreams without even trying. And this leads to me having at least one dream every single day that I can remember. And when you have this thing where you're escaping, and it's this like magical adventure you're going on every single night, it can get addicting. It's this form of escapism, but it's like such a weird form of escapism, because I think that it's more difficult to get tired of your dreams, because you have other forms of escapism that I think it all eventually runs its course. I think if say like video games, for example, I think eventually, if you're like me, who sort of has like an addictive personality, who if you get hooked on something, then you're just gamifying that. You're just like going at it obsessively until it runs its course. But with dreams, it's not really the same thing, because I don't really know. Because with addictions, in these forms of escapism, you sort of have to always keep upping the ante, upping the extremity, the intensity, all this stuff. But with dreams, I think there's like this like element of magic to it, to where you can't really get bored of them, and that can be addicting. It could be dangerous if you're having a lifestyle where you're sort of sick of reality, and then the only thing you're excited for is the nighttime. You get all snuggled up, you get so cozy, and then you drift off to that place, that magical place where you're hitting this random button to have just this random experience. It's wonderful. But if you're neglecting reality, then there's a problem. So where do you go if, let's say, you're sort of similar to me, where you're kind of done with people. You're kind of done with most people, because most people just want stuff from you, and there's also people who fake emotions, which that makes life so much more complicated. And being human, humans are imperfect and they make mistakes, but even then you're just sick of them. You're just tired of dealing with people, and then you go to sleep, and then you have these dreams where there's people in those dreams, but they can be as perfect as you designed them, and that can be very fun. Very, very fun to just have these dreams where you're talking to people and everything's perfect, and they're not human, but it can be a better experience. But it's addicting. It's very addicting. And where does that lead? Let's say you're done with people, you're done with reality, you've gone into this sinkhole. And I'd say myself, I'm sort of in this sinkhole right now. Well, your immediate response be, well, if you're in a sinkhole, you got to get out of it. You got to, if you're in this, if you've gone hooked on this addiction to this form of escapism, then, you got to get out of this sinkhole. But the theme and message, the message that I want to convey in this video is that sometimes you can sink deeper in that sinkhole. Now stick with me now. Now, obviously, if we're talking about drugs, that's not what I'm talking about. But with dreams, there's some there's some leeway there, if that's even the right word. But there are advantages to having these really wild dreams, and I've had this sort of mindset that everything's sort of balanced. So let's say you have a really adventurous, just very adventurous, high, what's the word? Flashing lights, loud sounds, flashing lights, loud sounds, stimulation. Yeah, high stimulation. If you have a reality that's high stimulation, then most likely your dreams aren't going to be giving you that. But if you have a very boring life, then I think that, and if you, of course, have a strong dream recall, I think that inherently leads to having these wilder dreams, because your subconscious is trying to grab on to something that has more stuff. Your subconscious wants this more stimulation. And so that's where that balance is. But what if you're a creative? What if you have these artistic endeavors where it can be very advantageous to have these dreams? Because there are countless moments throughout history where artists, creatives, they've had these dreams. Say, for example, musicians, they've had these dreams that have inspired a song. And say for inventors, same thing. They have this like random spark in a dream, and that just inspires an invention. That's like a superpower. And so if you're a creative, this can be very advantageous to have these wild dreams. And so maybe I should sink deeper into this sinkhole. Now, obviously, I'm not going to neglect the waking world, but I do have this mindset that if I just have dreaming as sort of my one vice, I'm not like doing any other form of escapism. I'm not doom scrolling. I'm not blasting music. Then I think that it's okay to have these dreams as this form of escapism. I think that if you're present throughout the entire day, the entire waking world, then dreams are good and healthy. And so I think I'm gonna sink deeper into this sinkhole. I'm pulling this baby out. I'm getting back at it. I'm gonna write down every single dream I have every single day, not just the exciting ones, not just the notable, memorable ones, but I'm gonna write down every single dream I have every single day. And let's turn the heat up. Let's crank this up a notch, and let's see where these dreams lead me. Maybe I'll do something like on some like Akira Kurosawa type stuff, where I make a film which is like a collection of my notable dreams. And if Scorsese's around, I'll get him to play maybe Vincent van Gogh again. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll get Scorsese to play Vincent van Gogh for a second time. So, yeah. What else? This thing on. Yeah. Nope, that's all.